Haven't recorded a whole lot, but it's really windy. I've got this thing pressure washed pretty good, and I've been working on grinding off most of the rust. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing. That was like really rusty through there. I'm gonna probably clean the rest of that off so it doesn't end up looking kind of like how this did, where it's all patchy. Even though fuel tank goes there. Then I'm gonna work on the cab, and then hopefully I can get it moved into the back. I convinced my dad, I'll wipe this off, convinced my dad to let me at least paint in the back of the shop. We're gonna hang some tarps from the rafters, and then I'm gonna prime it, let it sit for a day and a half, and then hopefully get it painted. We did the steering cylinders yesterday, which I'll quick show you those, the old ones. This is what we took out, so you can imagine how messy it was. And yeah, this one, just when I was messing with it, this seal, like before we took it out, this seal was just leaking on the ground. Tractor, you know, not running, not even close to running condition, no pressure, no fluid. And I pushed this cylinder or this rod in a little bit, and it was just pouring out of that bottom part of that seal there. So that's why I was changing it. I also discovered why. So this is the original cylinder that was in there, and then what they had, something happen, so then they pulled this one out and swapped that one over there in from that parts tractor sitting there. Well, I just, you know, I'm reversing it now because I got them resealed and I had them sitting around. But what happened is, I'm guessing the pivot pin broke, which bent this up. This is bent up. It messed up the cylinder a little bit, like this part here, so it's a little bit funny, but I fixed it, sorta. And then, yeah, that all bent, that was bent out, that's why it's hammered back into place, kinda. And then they welded it. Kind of see it there. Yeah, that's not original. So I was gonna change this out because of the bend to it, but then I realized, oh, I can't. It's literally welded on. So I didn't feel like cutting it off. Anyway, I've been pressure washing this, and even though it's still a little dirty, it is like a million times better than what it used to be. So yeah, this is all still dirty, so I'm gonna have to blow it off or wipe it down before I prime it. But I'm ready for this project to be done. I've been staying up late, night after night, working on this. So, hi dog. That's Tolly. I'm ready for it to be done. Another mistake I made while pressure washing with that 4,000 psi hot water diesel burner pressure washer, I pushed out the PTO seal. We already replaced it. We replaced it last fall when I was working on this originally. Well, I blew it in with the pressure washer, so it's now leaking again. Yay me. So we're gonna have to drain the fluid back out, change the seal, put it back in. Fun, fun. All right, I'm gonna work on grinding down this cab, see how that goes. Well, mistakes were made. Not gonna show the rest of it. That hurt. That's what the guard is for. That's why you put the guard on. So yeah, that's basically all I'm gonna do. I'll check back in when I have more done, because I can't imagine it's too entertaining to sit and listen to a grinder. But it cleans it right down, and then once I get that done, then I can hopefully get it inside, set up a makeshift paint booth, and get it primed, a couple coats of primer so I can sit. And yeah, that plow day that I talked about, I think in one of the earlier videos, it was supposed to be last Saturday. It got rescheduled to this Saturday. It's now Thursday, April something. I'm not going to be ready, but on a good note, my grandpa has a 1972 or very early 1973 John Deere 6030, and he's going to have his 6-bottom plow there, so he invited me to come and plow in his tractor. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring my camera along, record that, so that should hopefully be a good time. It's supposed to be cloudy, rain the day before, rain the day after, cloudy the day of, but it's gonna happen. So I wish I had this there, but you can't always get what you want. So yeah, my adrenaline is wearing off, so my leg is starting to hurt really bad, but you know, I debate whether I should show this stuff because it makes me look really, really stupid, but if you acknowledge it, it's not so bad, right? Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll check back in once I get further along with something. We ended up pushing it back in. Oh, dog's in here too. We pushed it back in because it was starting to sprinkle. So, oh, it's really windy. The floor, I swept it up, but you know, that's from my, I don't even know if I'll upload it, my coolant disaster. Again, I don't know if I should upload my mistakes because it makes me look really dumb, but it's realistic, so my everyday realistic stuff. Not everybody's perfect at everything, but yeah, I'm gonna have to, this has already got paint on it, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna have to blow it off, wipe it down, something, I don't know. It's so much cleaner than it used to be though. It's just gonna be really dusty as this I painted last year just because I had some holes welded up. You can kind of see them up there. I'll have to grind that down, same as the rest of the cab. It'll feel good to get all that junk off up there. Roof is gonna come off soon once I get paint on that. I have it primed. It's just I have to paint outside, so I have to watch the weather, and I can't paint inside of a shop because the shop will get dirty. So yeah, anyway, we pushed it inside and I'm now feeding, so I thought I'd record that because I don't think I've shown that before. So we feed corn silage outside to the cows. That's what's in there if you saw it. 6105 John Deere. Oh boy. Listening to my girly music. I like pop music. I don't care. I listen to just about anything. That is our McCormick XTX 200. It's full, I guess, basically powered electronic power shift. 2005 or 2006? Might be a 2006. I don't remember. Anyway, we might end up selling that at some point to get another Magnum. We have a 220 Magnum. That's a 2015. So we might try and sell that XTX at some point to get another Magnum because they're just reliable. Magnums hold their value really well. And we might get a little bit bigger Magnum this time to just keep up with maybe getting a bigger disc and everything. Yeah, hopefully we can run more acres in the future. But McCormick only has like 3,500 hours on it. Also, always rev down right here, throttle. That's also foot throttle down there. Always rev down before you turn on the PTO, otherwise there's little shear bolts, or if it's really fancy, it's got a slip clutch on the PTO shaft. But do that so you can turn the PTO on without wrecking those shear pins. Rev it up. Not really the best for the clutch, but it's a mixer tractor. Something doesn't sound quite right in there. Let's go check it out. Something's banging around. Other than the stuff wrapped around it. That's just junk. I guess it was nothing. Let's get down without smashing our face. Bearings still in there. Yep, they're still there. I use this setup almost every single day. You know, odd times that my dad does it, and I can never remember which way I have the hydraulic hoses set up. This mixer only comes off for maybe 10 days a year off of this tractor. Otherwise it stays hooked up to the 6105. It doesn't matter how many times I use it, I always go the wrong way with the stupid hydraulic lever. Every single time. Just like opening the wrong drawer in your toolbox that you've had for years and years and years. I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing, but it's like that part of my brain that's like, nope, we don't need that information. We'll just figure it out as we go every single time. I just feel like it would be more efficient if I actually cataloged it in my brain and didn't have to go the wrong way every single time. Also, that hydraulic door, you always got to remember to close that when you're done. There's the Twisted Ash of Twisted Ash Farm. Because if you don't, then you go to fill it up and forget about it, it'll dump right out that door. And then if you still don't realize it after you filled it up, you will leave a nice little treasure trail all the way to from the bag to your destination. And yeah, it's a good waste of feed. So I'm gonna go back to working on my tractor, I think. Just gonna keep grinding away on it, literally and figuratively. I think it's sprinkling on the roof. That's our combine, don't know if I've shown it yet. 4020 needs a tire. That's another 7520. Top shaft is locked up. That's another front end. That's another pivot. Fuel tanks, rear end, four-wheeler, lawnmower, 2 cylinders, 2520, 1750 corn planter, 37D, 986, 220 Magnum, junk truck, and that's the Twisted Ash. The reason I named it Twisted Ash, I should do a full in-depth thing with pictures and stuff, but yeah, you can come out, dog. Forgot about you. That's Harley. The reason I named it Twisted Ash is because we had a tornado come through, an F3 tornado in 2017. Took the roof off the barn, 2 silos. I don't know if I might have said this in the video, I don't know. Well, you're gonna hear it again. Took the silos down that we had, the small building we had, heifer shed, grain bin, ton of, like, almost the house. It moved the house off the foundation just a little bit. So if you go down in the basement, since it's a modular, when they built it in the 90s, they hauled it in 2 halves. Kind of like not a double wide, but you know, a modular home. But oh, that's another treasure. Save that. It bolts together in the middle, like down the seam. Well, after the tornado, if you go down there in the basement and you look at where it bolts together, some of the bolts are a little bit sideways and crooked, and they're not straight anymore. So now he's gonna yell at me for something. Yeah, yelling at me. What? Sure. Let cows out. I think it's gonna storm pretty bad. Yeah, almost took the house, knocked the garage off of, like, one wall off of the foundation, so I had to pick it up and push the wall back. Sent a 2x4 through the wall of the garage, like it was sticking through. The roof of we had a little garage not attached to the house, like an old tool shed basically. The roof got launched into my truck, which was sitting in front of the house garage. Totaled all of our vehicles. My brothers were still at home at that time. Totaled our vehicles sitting outside. Totaled my dad's old V10 second gen Dodge, which that thing was gone a long time ago. It didn't have much life left in it. But hang on, there we go. Did all that. We were in the barn at the time when it took the roof off, and we sat against the wall. Luckily, it's concrete walls. Like, they haul the concrete walls in and then set them down. I don't know the exact term for it. And then bolt the walls together. So luckily it was, you know, really heavy walls. If that was like stick built, that thing would have been toast. But the wall was moving behind us because it just kind of sits there, and it's all bolted together in a rectangle, and then held together by the roof, obviously. But yeah, that was pretty sketchy. There was insulation flying everywhere from in the roof. Yeah, it was not a fun time. There used to be an old heifer shed here. Took that down, which that wasn't the nicest building either. So and that wasn't there. That shop wasn't there. That was a horse arena with an L shape of pine trees going behind it. Ooh, FedEx is here. Yeah, and this tree was in the middle of it all, and all those pine trees, like more than half of them, 2/3 of them probably, got folded over. Yeah, it was just a mess. And this thing survived. We have more now, but we had trees over in the yard there where those ones are. Those all got ripped out. I think that one wasn't there, it got ripped out. So these are all like newly, you know, since 2017, 2018 planted trees. That was like the only one that survived. Like those are all new over there. A bunch of the trees in the pasture got torn down by it, blown down. Trees across the road got blown down. Our grain bin that was over kind of where my parts tractor is, that is now way over there, even further over, way the hell over there, back in the trees. It carried it a ways. We had a cattle trailer, yeah, our cattle trailer got tipped over on its side, or on its roof. We had a gravity box that got all twisted up. Had what was the word I was looking for? Oh, feeder wagon. That got thrown into the river, and I ended up having to take a kayak and a chain because the river was like flooded. Like we had a monsoon after that, which made it even better. It was cold and rainy after the tornado for like a couple weeks. Felt like a couple months. So the river was flooded, so I had to kayak across the river, like into the middle of the river, to hook a chain around this feeder wagon, and then we pulled it back with the loader tractor, McCormick. Oh, he put it inside, that's right. This was the tractor. I don't know if I had it in the video, but I did record it at some point. One of the silos that used to be, I think it was where that harvest store silo is, you know, it got cut off halfway at the feed line, ended up on top of this tractor. So my dad, mostly my dad, I helped a little bit. We rebuilt it. He rebuilt it, I'll say. He did a lot of the work. Anyway, we ended up having a dairy breakfast, county dairy breakfast, in 2019, 2 years after it happened. And my mom came up with like a theme or whatever for like us to wear shirts and everything for the dairy breakfast, and she decided on Twisted Ash Farm because that's an ash tree. It survived like the whole emerald ash borer, which is still kind of going on, but it was a really big deal in like 2010 and a little bit later. Survived that, and then survived this tornado. It had a lot more limbs on it before, and it's now growing a lot of them back, but it got mangled, and it still survived after we lost a ton of other stuff. So she decided that she liked the name Twisted Ash Farm, and in all fairness, I made fun of it at the time because she just made it up, so you know, whatever. But then when I was thinking of doing YouTube, I thought, I kind of want a name. Instead of just my last name and farm or farms or my first name, I thought, oh, I'll just use that. And I have a shirt from the dairy breakfast with that name and logo on it from 2019, so I could always wear that if I wanted to. And it's a fun name, so I've come around to it. I was wrong, my mom was right. Don't tell her that. So yeah, that's where it came from. Maybe I'll do a video and show all, we've got tons of pictures from that, and I have a video of this tractor limping along with the roof caved in, this all caved in, this tipped back because it cracked underneath. What else? It looked like, besides all that, it looked like trash because it had the original paint job, not this. So it looked awful. It was tired. Smoking like crazy. Turbo was junk on it, so we replaced that when we rebuilt it. But ooh, maybe I won't talk about the paint job. Hopefully mine doesn't end up like this in a couple of years. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, getting sidetracked. I have to let cows out. So thanks for watching. I think I'll just upload this, and then if I get around to uploading the other progress videos of me working on my tractor from previously, then I will. If I won't, then I won't. But hopefully I'm going to have it done for field work. I miss plow day, but field work, I'll have it done for that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully we don't blow away another tornado. And that is the Twisted Ash, and that is Tolly the dog.